Epilogue, wherein the cavalry officer must face the consequences of his actions. They said you were lucky. When you appeared before the sentry posts at Narinja ahead of the ragged remains of the retreating army, the guards commented on your good fortune. When some anonymous captain or major ordered you confined to your officer's billets to await trial, as opposed to bare, makeshift cells assigned to common deserters, your guards made sure you knew how well you had gotten off. When the head of the tribunal slammed his gavel down and acquitted you of the charge of desertion under the condition of extenuating circumstances, he spent a full half hour reminding you of just how close you were to the precipice of a conviction, of the rope and scaffolds that awaited all deserters. You take a long shuddering breath as you open your eyes and look around the creaking ship's cabin again, unchanged since the last time your eyes closed. The rough writing desk still bolted to the floor, your narrow and stained cot still sagging with your weight, the sounds of the rolling sea and the 100 sailors, and the sure presence of your 2 gallows in the uniform of the Royal Marines, standing with fixed bayonets just outside your door, barely lit by the just rising sun off to the side of the stern windows. You don't feel particularly lucky. In the end, the final ruling of the court-martial means very little. Although you are not to be hanged for a deserter, the genteel understanding is that you are to be stripped of any sort of responsibilities or honors. Although you have the right to wear your medals and campaign honors, they will forever be tarnished by your name. They have let you keep your lieutenant's rank and put you on half pay, but you know full well that you will never hold the command again. For you, the war is over, which in essence is why you find yourself waking in the hastily vacated cabin of some warship whose name escapes you. She is 4 days out of Narinja and bound for Northern Pillars, and from there, Itoria. There you will be assigned to a quartermaster's desk at a customs outpost or recruiting camp, made to shuffle papers of no particular consequence for the rest of your career. It is His Majesty's government's way of punishing those of birth too high to shoot or hang. An oubliette bricked up by the contempt of your superiors and mortared with your own disgrace. There are worse ways to spend the next 30 years of your life, but there are very few indeed. You swing your feet over the side of your cot. They have given you an officer's cabin, a courtesy that seems more cruelty than kindness. You may still carry the king's commission, but to those who claim themselves madder or braver than you, who stood and fought and somehow survived the nightmare at Blogia, you will never be their equal again. Those men will be given honor and praise by a nation desperate to find the wine of heroism to wash away the bitter gall of defeat. With Wolfram martyred and half of his senior command dead alongside him, the rising men who had covered themselves with glory will be promoted to fill their place. You were able to scrape up some news of it before your departure. The Duke of Havenport commands the army now, and Major Hartigan, now Lieutenant Colonel Hartigan, has been given the wrecked remains of his old regiment to rebuild. The king is slated to arrive within a week to personally take command. You will not be there to see it. Instead, you are here, sitting on the side of a fragile wooden cot on a slow voyage of disgrace. You stand to use the chamber pot and to dress in the light of the slowly rising sun, your actions more the sad motions of an automaton than that of a human being. You sit at your deek in the pale blue gloom of morning. It will be some time until your sentry will enter with your breakfast, and your guards have made it clear under no uncertain terms that you are to be confined to this tiny wooden room. Your motions are still running as if by wound-up clockwork as you cross the tiny cabin and sit down at the desk. For the last 4 interminable days of your voyage southwards, you have done very little save take your meals and sit at that lonely, rough-hewn writing table. The desk itself is a heavy dark wood, bolted to the deck so that it could not move about in rough seas. Its top has been worn over countless years of use, stark and bare save for 2 objects. One is a paper cylinder, twisted shut and sealed with wax on both ends. The faint outline of a sphere bulges from one end of the thing, slightly distorting the tiny stamped text on the body. Cartridge pistol, HM's government issue. Sitting next to it is a flintlock pistol. Both objects were left for you when you were escorted in, provided by the order of someone too highly ranked to be named. The implication is obvious. You pick up the pistol in your left hand, the cartridge in your right. Your body moves of its own accord, the automatic legacy of the long years which you have given to a service which now despises you. Your thumb pulls the flint to half-cock as your teeth bites into the end of the cartridge, filling your mouth with the taste of wax paper and bitter black powder. Hands which no longer seem to be yours prime and load, as if even your body seems set on favouring death over dishonour. It is only when your hand pulls the lock to full cock that you will yourself to stop, if only for a moment. You have spent 5 years following orders, but finally there is one which you cannot carry out. Here you sit, bereft of honour, of reputation, and of hope for promotion. Your hands cradle the loaded pistol as you think of... I don't know. Do I have a family? I don't know. The man I have left behind? No. Fellow officers? No. Country? The hell no. I guess my family? Your family will disown you, that is a fact. You will be able to keep your name, and Banebloods can never be truly stripped of the privileges of nobility, but your family will cut any and all ties to you, lest they be targeted for their connection with a known disgrace. Your parents may do so with a sense of relief, or they may do it with tears in their eyes and anguish in their faces. It matters little, their sentiments cannot change the cold reality of the situation. Without an illustrious name or enough money to purchase and furnish an estate of your own, you will have little chance of finding a wife of condition and starting a respectable family. With the alternatives too abhorrent to consider, you resign yourself to the fact that any future endeavours, no matter how successful, will end in vain without an heir to continue them. I mean, I don't really want to think of any of the other things. I guess we're pulling the trigger. Well, you take a deep, shuddering breath as your fingers close around the wooden grip of the pistol. Slowly, you bring the muzzle up so that you can feel its cold metal bore pressed against the side of your head. You grit your teeth and close your eyes. Your finger squeezes the cruel curve of the trigger. In an instant, your mind begins a million new thoughts. Apologies to mother and father, words you never had the chance to say to those dead and gone, memories, regrets, sorrows, and joys. Then there is an almighty flash of powder, and you think no more. Okay, that's apparently it. I will never understand the thoughts of someone like this, I'll have to be honest. I do not see the point in... how do I best phrase this? In sort of the dying for your country sort of mindset is not something that I can understand, so I will not claim to. Clearly, our character in this novel saw no other way out, in which case, why flee in the first place? Maybe the death we had prior to that was one that would have been enjoyed more by our character, in a way. Then again, like as I said, there was no other option for me at this point. Either of the, what were the other two options that I didn't choose? One of them was, all my men can flee, but I'll stay here and pretty much defend it on my own, which would end up in us dying, obviously. And what was the other one? I can't remember. It was probably not going to end well either. So yeah, I guess it ends here. I hope you enjoyed watching Sabres of Infinity. Thanks for doing so, and I hope to see you guys in another series soon. Till then, bye.